The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Commander Zrixtal's 7 eyes focused on the human, standing in the detention field. Captain Sarah Chen stood with her arms crossed, looking more bored than threatened. "Captain Chen," Zrixtal's translator crackled, "you are hereby charged with 17 violations of galactic maritime law, including unauthorized warp signatures, breach of restricted space, and most severely," he paused for effect, "reckless endangerment of Council vessels." Sarah raised an eyebrow. "Reckless endangerment? I saved your ships. You destroyed a Krellic battlecruiser." The counselor from Vex Prime slammed 3 of his appendages on the table. "A vessel that had never been defeated in 400 cycles of war." "It was shooting at you," Sarah said flatly. "The proper protocol," Zrixtal continued, his voice dripping with condescension, "was to wait for Council reinforcements. Instead, you engaged a superior force alone, utilized weapons technology far beyond approved parameters, and executed maneuvers that violated 16 laws of physics as we understand them." Sarah shrugged. "The physics worked fine from where I was sitting." The Council erupted in multilingual outrage. Zrixtal raised his primary manipulator for silence. "Captain Chen, do you understand why humanity is still under probationary status in the galactic community?" "Because you're scared of us," Sarah replied. "Because you're dangerous." Zrixtal's scales flushed crimson. "In the 3 solar cycles since first contact, humans have rapidly adapted to technology that took other species millennia to master. You've somehow managed to improve upon designs that were considered perfect. You take risks that no rational being would consider. And worst of all," he leaned forward, "you don't seem to recognize the danger you pose." "Counselor," Sarah said calmly, "I was flying a mining transport with civilian-grade shields. That Krellic cruiser had enough firepower to glass a planet. If I hadn't intervened, it would have destroyed the 3 Council science vessels before your fleet arrived. We both know I'm not the dangerous one in this scenario." "You made our defensive AI look primitive," another counselor shouted. "You anticipated 17 different attack patterns and countered them using maneuvers that our computers classified as suicide runs." "They weren't suicide runs," Sarah said. "I knew my ship could handle it. Your shields failed 3 times, but they came back online." Sarah's expression remained neutral. "Look, I get it. You've been the apex civilization for a long time. You've optimized everything, created protocols for every situation, and built a nice, safe galaxy. Then humans show up and we don't follow your rules because—" She paused, choosing her words carefully. "We learned to survive in a different way." Zrixtal's translator buzzed with what might have been a laugh. "Survive? Humans have been a spacefaring species for barely a century. The youngest race in this chamber has been exploring the stars for 20,000 years. You are infants pretending to be soldiers." "We've been surviving for hundreds of thousands of years," Sarah countered. "Just because we only recently left our planet doesn't mean we're inexperienced." "Earth wasn't a safe place, Counselor. We didn't have protocols handed down from a benevolent galactic community. We had to figure everything out ourselves, usually while something was trying to kill us. Which is precisely why you're dangerous," Zrixtal said. "You think like prey that learned to fight back. It makes you unpredictable, aggressive, and—" The chamber's emergency alarm shrieked to life. A holographic display materialized, showing a Krellic war fleet emerging from hyperspace. 37 capital ships, all weapons hot. "They've come for revenge," someone whispered. Zrixtal's scales went pale. "Activate all defensive platforms. Scramble the fleet. Send distress calls to—" "That'll take at least 12 minutes," Sarah interrupted. "You'll be under fire in 4. "We are aware of our response times, Captain Chen," Zrixtal snapped. Sarah looked at the detention field surrounding her, then at the panic spreading through the Council chamber. "You know, Counselor, you were right about one thing." "What?" "I am dangerous." Sarah's expression shifted, and for the first time the Council members saw something predatory flash across the human's face. "The difference is, until right now I wasn't even trying." "What are you—" Sarah's hand moved in a blur, pressing something on her uniform. The detention field flickered and died. Before any guard could react, she'd accessed a wall console. "Chen to Wanderer," she said calmly. "Full weapons authorization. Protocol Valkyrie." Zrixtal lunged forward. "How are you accessing secure—" "Your firewalls are adorable," Sarah said, fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "Now shut up and watch." The tactical display shifted. A single ship, Sarah's supposedly damaged mining transport, moved toward the Krellick fleet. Alone. "She's insane," someone whispered. No, Zrixtal realized, his blood running cold. She's been holding back. What happened next would be discussed in military academies for generations. The Wanderer didn't just engage the Krellick fleet, it systematically dismantled them. Every movement was precise, economical, devastating. Sarah had been flying at perhaps 30% capacity before. Now unshackled, her ship moved like a dancer through a battlefield, turning physics into poetry and warfare into art. Impossible, Zrixtal breathed. Those maneuvers would require computational power beyond your computers, Sarah finished. Not beyond mine, she tapped her temple. Humans might not have your technology, but we've got something you optimized away over millennia. Adaptability. We improvise, we take risks, and we make it work. In 7 minutes, the Krellick fleet retreated. In 10, they were gone. Sarah turned to face the council. Now then, about those charges? Zrixtal sat down slowly, his 7 eyes fixed on the human female who had just accomplished what should have been impossible. Dismissed, he said quietly. All charges dismissed. Good. Sarah headed toward the exit, then paused. Oh, and Counselor, next time you want to know what humans can really do, maybe don't piss us off first. That was me having fun. You really don't want to see me when I'm actually trying. As the doors closed behind her, the council chamber remained silent. Finally, a junior counselor spoke. Should we still keep humanity on probationary status? Zrixtal's scales had gone completely white. No, he said softly. We should pray they remain our allies. Because the council had finally learned what made humans truly dangerous. They'd survived not by becoming stronger than their predators, but by becoming something their predators never expected, the most creative. Stubborn and terrifyingly capable survivors the galaxy had ever seen, and Captain Sarah Chen had just taught them that lesson while barely breaking a sweat.